And what is up, guys? It's been a long time. This is Smokie here. Oh my god, guys. I'm so glad I have power and internet. I don't know, for those of you who don't know, Hurricane Sandy came. I live in New Jersey, and it came right into us and hit us. Don't worry. There wasn't much damage except for power outages around where I live anyways, but it was a pretty shitty storm. And as working as security, I was still going to work, so at least I didn't lose any money. But I mean, it was a crazy hurricane. I mean, the whole Jersey Shore is just fucking gone. It's just ridiculously crazy, but I mean, at least everyone's okay that I know and whatnot, and we just have to go through. I mean, right now, now we're going through this crisis of there's barely any gas around here, so I hope things go back to normal. But anyways, on that note, let's get started. In this episode of Career Mode, I want to talk about UFC 153. I know it was a long time ago, but after this huge hurricane and whatnot, I mean, I couldn't record or do anything. I mean, it's nuts. But anyways, let's talk about UFC 153. It was a pretty good event. I mean, not gonna lie, I mean, it was okay. But some of the upsets that I thought was Luis Kane versus Chris Camozzi. Luis Kane just wasn't looking good, and he actually lost by unanimous decision. Chris Camozzi was really getting to him in the stand-up, and Luis Kane, I mean, and it's crazy because Luis Kane is a really man, I'm like starting to develop another cold or something. Damn. But anyways, Luis Kane wasn't just going as how he used to, like the way he charge in and throw that hard straight right. But he wasn't doing that at all. Chris Camozzi was throwing kicks to like keep the distance, and he won the match. And on top of that, what I saw in my news, Luis Kane got actually released, which is pretty crazy. I mean, damn. But anyways, let's see what are the other good fights that happen. Sam Cecilia versus Ronnie Becerra. It was I'm actually surprised, but Sam Cecilia got stopped by a TKO. I was like, wow, like it was pretty crazy. But I mean, it's crazy because in the Ultimate Fighter, that first fight getting into the house, I thought Sam Cecilia was going to be a monster, that crazy quick 6-second knockout. But he ends up being a pretty mediocre guy. He has to really work on his ground game and his stand-up a little more. He's like very wild. He doesn't keep his hands up, and it's just I mean, I don't understand it, but that's how a lot of fighters develop, especially wrestlers. Their stand-up when they're first starting is just pretty crazy and wild, and they just throw these wild haymakers and pray that they land. But another fight, Damian Maia versus Rick Story. Wow, I mean, Damian Maia is really looking amazing in a welterweight division, and he could definitely be a pretty high threat here. I mean, the way he just manhandled Rick Story, got him to the ground, took his back, and submitted him was just amazing. I mean, in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I mean, he just got his back, dragged him down to the ground, and it was just over, man. I mean, wow. And I mean, Rick Story is a really good grappler, a really good wrestler, and Damian Maia just like manhandled him, man, like a little schoolboy. It was just God. But yeah, Damian Maia is he's this is his second or third win already in the welterweight division. It's looking pretty good. I'd like to start seeing Damian Maia fight more top people now. I mean, it would really see what he has. I mean, who knows? But we can only just speculate, right? But the next fight, Phil Davis versus Wagner Prado. You know, this fight, this was a rematch because the first fight they had, which I am not too sure which UFC event it was, but there was an eye poke, and Prado couldn't continue on, so they stopped the fight. So this was finally the rematch, and once again we see how amazing Phil Davis is with his wrestling and his grappling. I mean, his jiu-jitsu is getting amazingly good, and it's like, wow. You know, in the second round, I mean, first round, Phil Davis was just manhandling him, just taking him down wherever he wanted, and just kept the fight on the ground, and he was just, you know, doing his thing. I mean, it was pretty crazy, and in the second round, he caught Wagner Prado with a with what was it called? Oh man, not a Darce choke, an Anaconda choke. That's right, Anaconda choke. But he caught him with Anaconda choke, and you know, he got him toward the end of the second round, and you know, Phil Davis is back into his winning streaks. But anyway, the next fight was John Fitch versus Eric Silva. I was excited for this fight. I mean, John Fitch is one of my favorite fighters, and you know, he had a rough year. I mean, from getting knocked out by Johnny Hendricks for the first time ever to pretty much like having a draw with BJ Penn and then getting injured like twice. I mean, John Fitch was down, and it's crazy because John Fitch, like right with that BJ Penn fight, he was gonna be #1 contender. I mean, he started beating everyone again, and he was back up on the ladder. He was probably maybe 4th or 3rd. No, I'm saying 3rd or 2nd ranked to get the title shot. And then the BJ Penn fight happened. It became a draw, and then he got injured, and then he came back and got knocked out. It was just crazy for Fitch. But Fitch actually showed up. He showed up that night, and he did what he does best. And as me and my friends call it, he Fitched him pretty good. Eric Silva, I mean, this kid is going to be an amazing fighter. But I think this is one of those fights where he has to, like, you know, open his eyes, because from what I hear, this kid Eric Silva doesn't even watch. He doesn't even prepare for his fights. He doesn't study his opponent or nothing. He just goes in there, he trains, he goes in there, and he fights him, and that's it. And, you know, I guess he thought he could do that for everyone. I mean, maybe when you first come and get to the UFC, the first couple guys in the bottom of the pool, you know, maybe. But when you're going to fight a guy like John Fitch, one of the top welterweights, I mean, it's once you start hitting that top 10 ranking, you have to, excuse me, my mouth is getting dry. There we go. But when you're fighting someone like John Fitch competition, man, you have to study the opponent. You just can't, oh, I'm gonna go in there and beat him, man, because I'm the best. But this kid Eric Silva is going to be great, and like a lot of people said, Dana White, everyone, you know, this was probably his, you know, Matt Hughes GSP fight where GSP lost, you know. It's just one of those things that now he's gonna maybe from this loss open his eyes up and really become a better fighter. So I mean, it was, but John Fitch did his thing, kept getting him on the ground, and you know, I mean, there was a time as well where Eric Silva, you know, thought he had Eric Silva. Or Eric Silva thought he had John Fitch, but John Fitch is one of the hardest guys to submit. So, I mean, good luck with that. But John Fitch won by unanimous decision, and John Fitch is back. I mean, I'm glad and I'm excited. I hope he does really come back and do something. And on to the next fight was Glover Teixeira versus Fabio Maldonado. That was an awesome fight. Not gonna lie, I mean, for someone, I mean, this Maldonado guy is crazy. I mean, we thought the Korean Zombie or or not the Korean Zombie, but what's that guy in the heavyweight division, Joey Beltran. I mean, we thought that guy was like the crazy one that could take a beating and head kicks and everything. I don't know, man, because Glover Teixeira put a beating on this guy, and this guy would not quit. And there was even the one time where, because I know, they actually started standing, and Teixeira kept catching him, and then Teixeira went for a takedown and took him down, and they were on the ground for a little bit, almost submitted him. Fabio, he maintained his composure, he hung in there. I think he actually got stood back up, and actually Baldonado actually caught Teixeira off guard and rocked him a little bit. It was pretty crazy, but the whole fight was all Glover Teixeira. I mean, his ground and pound was nasty. Even in the stand-up, he was catching Fabio. I mean, the punishment was ridiculous. Until they actually had to stop the fight the second round, and they just was like, no, that's it. For Fabio's eye was really bad. I mean, his face was just mangled. It was crazy. The elbows that Teixeira was dropping was just lethal. But Fabio just wouldn't. I mean, he wouldn't even go out or get knocked out or nothing. It was crazy. I was Jesus, but the doctor stopped it. So, Glover Teixeira won that one. I'd like to see Glover Teixeira now fight Rampage or someone in the top level there, because, this guy's supposed to be good, and he's trained by the old Iceman's trainer, Hackelman. So let's see what he's got. I want to see what he's got, It's just, I mean, fight all these low guys and claiming that you're the best. You just can't do that. So, on to the co-main event, which was pretty crazy. It was Nogueira versus Dave Herman. I thought this fight was going to be, a quick barn burner, and it happened, how I expected. I know before the fight, they were all talking like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And Dave Herman was like, oh, jiu-jitsu doesn't work on me. And I started laughing when I heard that. But, Nogueira went in there. The fight started. Nogueira, got in there, started pressuring. Herman threw a couple kicks, but it wasn't phasing Nogueira. Nogueira got in there. He actually knocked him down with a nice, good right hand. I mean, that's the thing a lot of people forget. Nogueira is an excellent boxer, man. And it's like, if you think, oh, he's just a pure jiu-jitsu guy, man, you're wrong, man. You're going to be in a world of hurt for that fight. Because Nogueira's got excellent boxing as well, man. He's not just a straight-up jiu-jitsu master. He's got boxing as well. So when he has to stand up and he can't get it to the ground, I mean, come on, dudes. But, I mean, Dave Herman, he pretty much didn't do as much. He just sat there, and, Nogueira knocked him down, went into the second round, and then Nogueira, I think Herman wanted to take him down or something, and they went to the ground, and then Nogueira caught him with an armbar. It was amazing. It was awesome. And so, after that, it was just like curtains. He had to tap out, and Nogueira won. It was crazy. I mean, even Anderson Silva in the back, they actually showed him, and he was crying in just excitement that Nogueira won. I mean, Nogueira is one of the old dogs in the cage, but he can still do it. So, that's pretty cool. But on to the main event. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen in this main event. I mean, I didn't know it's Stephan Bonnar versus Anderson Silva. So, I mean, come on. I mean, if that's one thing that, I mean, I'm not hating on Anderson Silva at all. And, I mean, I know he is the best fighter right now. Although I kind of can contemplate that GSP is right up there with him. But, I mean, come on, man. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, but the guys he's fought in the light heavyweight division have not been caliber fighters for Anderson Silva. I mean, come on, what that one guy, Irvin? Come on, man, he was a herb-ass punk. I mean, come on, really? He wasn't cool. I mean, and then they give him Forrest Griffin. Yeah, Forrest Griffin. I mean, come on, Forrest Griffin was good. But after he lost that title, he just went down. I think his motivation and like his body, like he's just, I'm not sure how old what's his face? I totally forgot his name is, but I mean, come on, man. It's like, you know, everyone's like, oh, Anderson Silva can go up to any weight class, but come on, dude. Who's he fought? He fought Irvin. He fought that guy Irvin, and then he fights both Ultimate Fighter fanatic. Come on, man. That's stupid to me. I mean, not to knock him and everything, but come on. I mean, if I want to see Anderson Silva fight a top light heavyweight, I mean, he should. It's Anderson Silva. He should be fighting the best of the best, man. I mean, why could they give him like someone like Rampage or someone like Shogun, or, you know, that would have been something. But, you know, Stephan Bonnar, and I gave Stephan Bonnar a chance. I was like, well, Stephan Bonnar could take a beating, but for somehow, once again, just like with Forrest Griffin, you know, Silva just stood there, made fun of the guy in there, and then he like calculated this knee that just got him right in the sternum, and then, you know, the fight was over. It was just like it's crazy. I just can't believe it. I know he's the best, but I mean, he's fighting these old guys that are retiring, and, you know, I mean, come on, like, really? But, you know, I still give Anderson Silva props. You know, he saved the whole event, so hey, you know, more props to him. You know, I wish people like other champions could do that, like John Jones. You know, save events just to fight. Come on, man. I mean, that's why you're champion. But I mean, you know, it's just my opinions. But yeah, you know, it was just about the last part of the first round. Anderson Silva does it, but it was crazy. Anderson Silva was like standing on the cage or leaning. He was just on the cage, not moving. And Bonnar tries to do a spinning kick, and Anderson dodges out, dodges back in. It's nuts, but I mean, he's fighting slow, older light heavyweights. Like let him fight Lyoto or something, which I know they won't fight, but let him fight a faster light heavy. Like, let him fight Rashad Evans. I mean, come on. It would be completely different. And I think a man like Rashad Evans could probably take out Silva. You know, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Because he's a really good wrestler. He's very fast and very strong. You know, and he's got decent stand-up. Probably enough stand-up to throw some feints, a couple punches, maybe take a kick or two, and then shoot for the takedown and get him down. But I don't know. That's all I'm saying, man. I mean, I know Silva's the best, but why not give him top light heavyweights if he wants to move up? Or, you know. But hey, that's just my input. But anyway, yeah, you know, UFC 153 was pretty good. The next upcoming event is a fight night, but the next UFC event, oh, look at that, ground and pound to the face. But anyways, yes, UFC 154. Can't wait for that. I can't wait to see George back in there doing his thing. You know, I'm a fan of GSP for sure. He's a really good fighter, and you know. And it's going to be against Condit, which is another killer. So let's see what really goes down here. I mean, could GSP get ring rust? Could the injury really have taken a lot, or the spring of GSP? I mean, there's a lot of questions that are going to be answered for that event. And, I mean, was Carlos Condit the real guy to fight George St. Pierre as well? Could it have been Nick Diaz? Which I can't wait till Nick Diaz comes back. But, you know, I hope you guys liked and enjoyed this episode. You know, for those of you who were affected by Hurricane Sandy, you know, hang in there. If you haven't had power hopefully comes back. And hopefully gas comes back to the tri-states, to New Jersey. But anyways, guys, this is Smokie. I will definitely be starting to rig up some videos again. This is Smokie. I'm signing out. Peace out.